In the previous lectures, we have been creating and working with strings using single or double quotes. We have also combined multiple strings and inserted dynamic information into them with variables using the addition or addition assignment operator. And one thing you might also notice is that creating multi-line strings might seem like a messy and hard to read process, especially when there are many lines of strings. The good news is JavaScript now provides more easier way to work with strings, with a feature called template literals. Template literals not only make your code more usable and readable, they also enhance all the ways in which you can work with strings. Let's see how it works. To code along with me, first download the course folder from the link in the description below, unzip it and open it with your favorite code editor. Here I'm using Visual Studio Code. From the course folder, open the exercise folder called JavaScript Strings. And then open the index.html file using Google Chrome. Here I also open the JavaScript console. In the index.html file, remember to link the template.js file. Writing template literals is almost the same as writing strings with single or double quotes. The most significant difference is that we define template literals with backticks instead of quotes. The backtick character's location is different based on different keyboard layout. So make sure you found it from your keyboard first. Normally it looks like this. And all three of these evaluate to the exact same string. Now let's recreate the profile info from the previous lecture using template literals. The first name will store the value returned by a prompt dialog that asks, "What is your first name?" The last name will store the value returned by a prompt dialog that asks, "What is your last name?" And the profile info will store the final profile info message, including the strings stored in variables first name and last name. The final profile info message looks like this. Let's start by assigning template literal to variable profile info. I type 2 backticks, followed by a semicolon, and place the phrase "I am" inside. There are a few additional bonuses and features that comes with these backticks. First, instead of using the addition operator to combine one string with another string that's stored in a variable, we can use a special placeholder syntax to insert a value into a string dynamically. A $sign with curly braces marks the dynamic values in a template literal. For example, I'll insert the value of first name and last name like this. This syntax might seem strange at first, but once you get used to it, you are definitely gonna love it, because it's a lot easier to read and work with compared to concatenated strings. Next, I'll put period, space, and I'll add the rest of the profile info message like this. I'll also display the profile info in the console. I'll save the change, refresh the page, a prompt dialog appears. I'll type my first name, click OK, my last name, click OK, and it works just like before. Whatever is inside the curly braces gets evaluated by the JavaScript engine and added to the string. This process is called string interpolation. You can put almost any JavaScript statement that returns a value inside the curly braces. For example, I can do some calculation inside the template literal like this. I'll add one more sentence. I'll type "I have," space, $, curly braces. Inside the curly braces, I'll type 5 plus 5, and then space, and type. I'll save the change, refresh the page. A prompt dialog appears. I'll type my first name, click OK, my last name, click OK, and it works. As you can see, here's the value from the calculation. In this case, it's 10. Another benefit of template literal is that we don't need to worry about spaces between words like we usually do with concatenation. For example, if I want to have a space between first name and last name, I just leave a space like this. Just like leaving spaces when writing normal text. I don't need to add it separately using addition operator. We also don't have to worry about escaping single or double quotes or any characters at all. For example, if I want to have a single quote inside this string by writing the "I am" like this, I don't have to escape the single quote after the letter I like we did before while we're creating strings with single quotes. I'll save the change. Refresh the page. A prompt dialog appears. I'll type my first name. Click OK. Last name. Click OK. And it works just like before. Another great feature of template literals is that they support multi-line strings. You can include 2 or more lines between the backticks without having to escape new lines with the backslash. For example, like this. I'll move this to next line. And I'll move this to next line. I'll save the change. Refresh the page. A prompt dialog appears. I'll type my first name. Click OK. My last name. Click OK. Notice how the new lines are also preserved in the output. And that's it. As you can see, template literals offer a lot of conveniences when creating and working with strings. And they're also easier to write and read.